Okay, here we go. So this is our next take on some cards from Ixalan. So today we're taking a look at Abuelo Ancestral Echo. For 3 mana, you get a 2/2 Flying Ward 2 that has a 3 mana activated ability 1 into Azorius that basically blinks one of your creatures. And it's notable that this creature comes back on the end step. It's an activated ability, meaning that you can do it on your opponent's turn, which is pretty cool. That sets up some pretty interesting interactions between a lot of cards. Now, the thing that we also get to do with this card is a very similar kind of effect out of Soul Herder. Now, this is a card out of Modern Horizons that we've been using for a while now to do our ETB decks. It's a 1/1 spirit that basically gets bigger when you exile creatures from the battlefield, and on your end step, you get to exile a creature from the battlefield and return it back immediately. So what we want to do here is basically just abuse ETB effects, and the interesting thing here is that we have both of these creatures being spirits, which is pretty cool. So we're actually going to build a spirit tribal deck around it. Now another new card that we get out of this set is Roaming Throne. It's a 4 mana 4/4 golem with Ward 2 as well, so hard to remove, that's great. And then when it ETBs, you get to choose a creature type. So for us, this is going to be spirits, and this is, half of the reason that we're trying to do a tribal deck in the first place is because we get to play Roaming Throne for it. And basically, it acts like a Panharmonicon for our cards, meaning that when you have a triggered ability, it basically triggers twice if it's from a spirit. Assuming that we chose spirit, of course, for this card. Now, one other thing that we get to do here is if you take a look at the deck, we are pretty heavy on the 3-drop slot, so we just need to hope that we get there, but when we get there, we'll have a lot of cards to play. And we want to do that because our Sun Titan, our 1/of here at the 6-drop slot, can absolutely go insane on ETB and attacks when we have a bunch of creatures out. So, say we get a Soul Herder and we drop our Sun Titan, we get a creature back, then we go to our end step, we get another creature back, Soul Herder's gotten bigger, whatever we brought back to ETB is just going to keep going. It's going to be amazing, unless we get our stuff exiled. So hopefully that won't happen. But in terms of the spirit game plan, there's a lot of cool things that we can do here. We're running Drogskol Captain and our 1/of Cemetery Illuminator. No, it's not that one. It's Supreme Phantom as our Anthem creatures to give our creatures hexproof and +1/+1. And we have some other things like Kira, Great Glass Spinner, a 3 mana 2/2 flyer that gives all of our creatures, whenever this thing becomes targeted, counter the spell if it's the first time. So this is going to help targeted removal against us. We have Cemetery Illuminator here. Exiles cards from the graveyard, either yours or your opponent's. And you can basically cast things from the top of your deck if they share a common creature type. So for us, we just want to exile a spirit, and then now we basically have a ability to cast off the top of our deck. Something that we've seen before with Soul Herder is Aether Channeler. I'm only running 3 of these right now because it doesn't happen to be a spirit, but the fact that you can return another target non-land permanent to its owner's hand is really good in this situation. So we're going to use this to basically bounce our opponent's whole board if possible. Of course, Skyclave Apparition, another really good spirit, also already used with Soul Herder. Pretty solid card. And then we're running Restoration of Aganjo here as our way of getting some basic planes onto the battlefield. And actually, since the last time that I was building this deck, I was running a lot more white cards. So now that we're about 50-50, I'm going to drop off some of these basic planes, but I'll keep around 5 or 6 of them for Restoration of Aganjo purposes. Some other things that we have is Groker's Safeguard. This allows you to blink something basically and bring it back with a shield counter. It used to be along 4 copies of Ephemerate, but for now I don't think we need them because we have 8 copies of ETBing creatures. Alright, so then we have Supreme Phantom. Like I said, this is one of our Anthem creatures. Spectral Adversary. I usually run these as a 1/of, but basically you can pay 1 and a blue some number of times in order to make a bunch of stuff phase out. So this can be removing blockers. You can hold up mana and then respond to a Wrath or something to save your important pieces. All things like that. And then Rattle Chains basically is a response to... It's basically dive down on a 2/1 body for 2. And this gives us the ability to cast all of our spirit spells as though they had flash. So this will be great alongside Spectral Adversary, making sure that we can use our mana in response to our opponent's stuff. And then Spectral Sailor, a 1/1 flash flying 1/1, gives us the ability to draw a card for 4 mana. So if we get into a situation where we can hold up our mana, we have something to dump it into. And then, of course, Mausoleum Wanderer, another pretty solid 1-drop 1/1. It's a flyer, and when spirits enter, it gets bigger. And you can utilize its activated ability to counter spells if it's getting large. So ultimately, that is the deck here. We want to get a bunch of our ETB creatures out. We want to get a bunch of our spirits out, and together, we're hoping that they meld into one big fun deck to play. Let's hop into some games here and see what this deck's got for us. Real quick, if you want to support the channel, like and comment on the video to help with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. Let's hop right in and see what we can do. Okay, we're looking for a quick hand here. Drog School Captain and Soul Herder are both pretty solid. And we actually get Soul Herder plus Aether Channeler. I'm happy to keep this hand. We'll stick out a Mausoleum Wanderer on turn 1. Alright, we can tax our opponent for 1 mana if it comes down to it. Sithis? Okay, so we're going to need to use Mausoleum Wanderer to counter something else. Probably they're going to curve out before we can do anything. Okay, it is what it is. So I think we'll Aether Channeler back their opponent's Sithis. Yeah, that's just a Utopia Sprawl, sure. They're putting it on the Forest, which is interesting, so they are not going to be able to cast 2 spells this turn. Alright, well this is great. We'll play this, we'll play Aether Channeler, bounce the Sithis, and I think we're actually going to have a really fun time today. Bounce that, move in, and they're not going to have a lot of removal, so we can just sit here behind a Soul Herder and just go ham. There goes Sithis, and here comes Soul Herder. Alright, we will go in with 2. And then, end step, we will blink our Aether Channeler. We will take action. And we will grow the Soul Herder and bounce the Sithis. Okay, well, we've established exactly what we want to do here. This is great. Heliod's Punishment on the Soul Herder. This is can't attack or block. It loses all abilities. Oh, that's sad. Well, wouldn't it be great if we had another Soul Herder? Mausoleum Wanderer gets bigger. We go in with everything, and we will still trigger the Aether Channeler and bounce their Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Well, we've held our opponent to 2 mana here effectively. I think that this is looking pretty darn good. They have second Heliod's Punishment for us. Luckily, we have another Aether Channeler in hand. They'll need land plus Utopia Sprawl if they expect to get back into this game. And looks like we're good here. I'm going to go in with a Abuelo. We'll make sure to activate our Soul Herders here. And swing in. Opponent is dead next turn, basically, with the Drog School Captain hitting the battlefield, so let's see what they can play out. Baffling End, okay. And when this comes back, I get a 3/3 dinosaur, right? Okay. Well, I can drop this out. I can play a Drog School Captain. And I can even play a Aether Channeler sending back the Heliod's Punishment. Alright. And we will attack in for exactly 9, and just like that, that is round 1. I did not expect this to go that well, but here we are regardless. Alright, that was a great round 1. Let's hop into round 2 and try to do it again. Alright, round 2. Aether Channeler is good. It's unfortunately at odds with Drog School Captain. I think that I'm going to give it a try. No, actually, no. I'm going to look for something that has a little bit of an earlier play, like the Spectral Sailor. I think that Restoration of Aganja is probably one of the less good cards in my deck. So we will play like this. Ooh, Mausoleum Wanderer is also kind of nice. I'm going to do that one first. and I'll optimize my attack a little bit. Saheeli's Lattice, okay. New card. What are we doing here? They're dropping a Tarask. Hello. So for 5 mana. Oh, that's sick. That's really cool. Okay, Saheeli's Lattice. Fun card. 2 or fewer other lands. We will do this, and we will play Spectral Sailor. Hit for 2 here, and we just need to race our opponent to 5 mana. We should be able to do that pretty well here. I mean, I can exile their Saheeli's Lattice if it comes down to it. So I'll slowly kind of just work on this Abuelo plan until they get close to flipping. Oh, they have multiple. Hello. So Saheeli's Lattice is more or less a Faithless Looting. Fiery Temper going to kill something. Okay. Well, it's lucky that we have this ward card here in our hand. And then, oh my god, this Skyclave Apparition with Roaming Throne is going to be great. And then Craft is exile this card and return it. Okay, cool. Yeah, oh my gosh. They're just going to go Saheeli's Lattice combo. Wow, so cool. Well, this is one of the coolest things about just being here in the new season, or not the new season, but like here after a new set's released, because the creative juices definitely are flowing for everyone, and there's some cool decks floating around. I might be interested in giving this one a try. It's pretty cool. Alright, so Hollowed Fountain is going to be our 4th land for turn. We're just going to drop this on Spirit and show our opponent what's good. Next turn, we get to double exile with Skyclave Apparition. They'll be able to flip one of their lattices this turn. Ooh, they're not going for it. I'm surprised they didn't do it. That would make sense for them. Middlecraft Raptor. Doesn't have any sort of trample though. I guess I'm curious what their plan 1 is. They got Fiery Temper, sure, they're gonna take out my Sailor. I more or less have a thing that I have a board that they can't really effectively deal with. I think I'm just going to Skyclave Apparition, take both Saheeli's Lattices. Double trigger. 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 Swing in for 6, and they are dead next turn to my board. What can they play on 5 or 6 mana? Oh, they have exactly the right card there. They're going to get 2 cards back, or 2 creatures back, rather. 2 Force CMC spells. That's brutal. Oh, wait. Oh, it combines that? That's hilarious. I did not know that this card worked that way. Where X is the mana value of the exiled card. This is an interesting way for that to work. I'm kind of wowed. Alright, well, it seems like we may end up losing to this, because I do not have removal. Opponent's on 8, I'm on 20. Who will win the race? I really just want to know what my opponent's endgame is. Like, we've seen Faithless Looting, we've seen the Saheeli's card, we've seen Bitter Reunion. Is it really just that they want to reanimate one of these things at a time? Are they trying to copy with Saheeli's? I'd really like to know before I die what they're trying to do. Alright, I've still yet to see anything super crazy. We'll drop a Supreme Phantom, go to 4. And yeah, I'm just signaling to them to show me your combo because I can't really do anything to stop what's currently going on. I guess there's Transmogrify. No, they're just going to try to kill me with Den of the Bugbear. Okay, well, I mean, I'd like to live one more turn to see what you can do to me. And now what happens? What the heck? Palace Sellsword. Okay. Well, I wasn't really expecting to see that, but we saw it anyway. Alright, pretty funny round 2 here, where we kind of were owning the board, and then we really just gave it to the opponent right there. That's a funny one. We'll have a laugh about that later. Round 3 is coming up now. Here we go. Alright, round 3. Broker's Safeguard shows up in this hand. We have pretty good ramp hand, or we have a pretty good curve in this hand. Gets a bunch of spirits into play. I think I'm down. So 2 or 3 other lands. Let's drop a Wanderer. We have Drog Skull Captain maybe coming down on turn 3. And then we have Aether Channeler for whenever our opponent plays something that we care about. Swing on in. See if they want to let me have Rattle Chains. I should have probably played that on their end step because now it looks like this is going to get countered. Whoops. Alright, sure. Well, if they've used that now, hopefully they will spend some mana doing something like this. Cool. This means I'm going to get my Abuelo out, probably. Yeah, this got Ward 2, can hopefully deal with targeted removal, or at least eat up a turn for them. If they play a permanent, I bounce it with Aether Channeler. If they don't, then I just go in with Drog Skull Captain and try to make something go on here. Here comes Abuelo. No blocks. We'll drop the Drog Skull Captain first. I'd rather get Soul Herder out than it. Alright, a lot of creature hate here. This is going to be what looks like a budget Azorius control deck. Cut Short, kind of an interesting card. We have the Throne as well. Let's hit him for another 2. We'll show Restoration of Aganjo since we haven't hit our land drop for turn. See if they have non-creature spell hate. Oh my gosh, I think this is just like all budget counter spells. That's cute. Alright, well, let's see if we can get past that. This will actually be a great deck for our Cavern of Souls to show up in. Unfortunately, have not hit that one yet. We'll hit again here. No flash creatures. I'm thinking that, yeah, we already have a spell in the graveyard, right? I'm going to play Cemetery Illuminator. If they counter it, it's no big deal. Okay, Exude. Well, for playing what I don't think is any golden spells, nothing above common so far, I am extremely impressed with this deck. They're holding on very well. Here's Soul Herder. I'll just play like right into a counterspell a turn. Kindred Denial, okay. Down to 11. We've gotten them halfway dead. Oh, alright. We found one non-uncommon card. Alright, so here's Deserted Beach here. Let's play a Roaming Throne on Spirit, or should it be on something else? I don't really know. It could be Spirit or it could be Wizard. I think for now, since I have a Wizard in hand, I'll choose Wizard. And actually, I guess the correct choice is Human, but it's okay. Cloak Giant comes down. Okay, they've dealt with my word creature pretty effectively here. Let's try a Soul Herder. Alright. They've used all their mana. hopefully they don't have too many more giants. Fading Hope comes back, okay. Well, now we are not dealing them damage. So how do we get around this? Well, basically the easiest way would to be doing a Cavern of Souls. So let's do this Aether Channeler here, send back the giant. They will have another Wrath to play, but we'll just kind of chill here. And it'll be fine. We can even hold up Broker's Safeguard for this Aether Channeler. If they get greedy and try to hold on for whatever reason, we'll play Soul Hoarder and then Broker's Safeguard. Let's see if this Realm Cloak Giant Wrath is going to be worth a 3/3 to them. Okay, looks like it is not. So I will play Soul Hoarder on my turn. Alright, we will not attack. We can think about flashing in the Spectral Sailor, but we will just kind of chill here and flicker this. Send another board wipe back to hand. I think they're probably going to Wrath the board here, so I'll just protect my Soul Hoarder with a Broker's Safeguard. Alright. I think we will do this. Oh, they're going to Fading Hope my Soul Hoarder. That actually works out for me. So we just lose the Aether Channeler regardless. My turn. None of these really do a whole lot. I'm just going to put in Spectral Sailor as well. And then we will go to end step Flicker Sailor. They can drop a creature or they can Wrath the board. Let's see what it is. Probably the Wrath. Yep, makes sense. Luckily, we actually do have our own giant, which is kind of funny. We're going to choose Spirit here. And let's play a Sun Giant. Oh, did they have a counterspell? No! That's just the perfect time. Dang, okay. Well, I could have Cavern of Souls the giant, but I got greedy. We'll have Roaming Throne next turn. Oh, interesting deck. Okay, so Roaming Throne, we're going to choose Spirit. That actually could be countered. It's not using the Cavern of Souls. Okay. Cure Glass Spinner, sure. Think that it's not going to matter. This will only hurt their ability to Fading Hope me. But it is a creature in the air, which is great. So this gets around any counterspells they might have, and unless they find another Realm Cloak Giant, I've got some game against them. Four is not going to hold up to a 7/7 Vigilance, so we are just going to sit back. I'll play the next Roaming Throne the following turn and try to trade with the Giant. Alright, they have two of them. Now what happens? We'll take 7 in this situation. It's definitely not what I want to be doing, but it is going to be what I have to do. So, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough mana. They might counter something. I'm interested in playing Roaming Throne, but I'm also interested in playing Drog Skull Captain. Well, we have to trade at some point. It's going to be bad if we don't. Do they have a counterspell for this? It looks like they do. Oh no, they're going to let it happen. Okay, so Spirit I think is going to be the idea, except for if we get a... if we're able to bounce anything, I actually want to name Human here. And we will attack for 2, and then otherwise kind of just sit around. They'll need double removal if they want to do anything to my creatures. I think my board is relatively safe. They're trying to read Kira, so they definitely have at least one removal spell in their hand. I have to guess it's a Fading Hope. They could Fading Hope their own giant, I guess. They go in for 14. Move a block like that. What happens now? Alright, so we go to 4. We can live, I think, one more turn like this. We gotta draw an Aether Channeler, though. That's maybe the only way that we get out of this. It'd be a good opportunity to draw one of our 3-drops because we can double spell next turn. They are really reading Kira, trying to figure out how to play around her. Oh no, it's a land. That's not what we wanted. Okay, so that gets coming uncounterable. Kira is now a 3/3. Let's go in. And we hit for 5 next turn. We're going to have to chump the Roaming Throne. It's a little awkward here. They didn't even attack. How weird. We'll move to combat. We're swinging in for 5. We are basically just trying to chump block once and get in for lethal. I'm surprised they just haven't been attacking in every turn. That's a good reason for it. So we will drop in a land here. Say go. So it's a top deck war for everybody now. Cool. Spectral Sailor is a great draw for us. We have enough for 2 activations of Spectral Sailor. Sweet. Oh, well, we're dead. Let's see what we would have drawn. We have uncounterable Spectral Sailor. Let's see what counterspells they had in their hand if they decide to play them. And we'll just draw 2 cards. That's fine. I will still be able to draw my 2 cards. Unfortunately, there's no Pact of Negation in this deck, so I cannot make it work. Yeah, so it looks like they were actually holding up a bunch of targeted removal. Makes sense. Okay, well, we were beaten by a pretty interesting Azorius control deck. The first half of that game was pretty funny because we just didn't run into any sort of cards above a uncommon rarity, but it was still a pretty strong deck, all things considered. Okay, cool. So that was a pretty fun game, I would say. I had a good time, and that was our round 3. So let's hop into round 4. Do 2 more games here. Let's go. All right. This opponent's been AFK for a while, so I started a new recording. This is our round 4. We are in here with a hand of 7 that includes a Cavern of Souls and Spectral Sailor. Even though we have Cavern of Souls, I'm going to wait till later to play it just to hide what we're doing. And they can't counter us on 0 mana as far as I'm aware. Alright, black mana. We'll go Deserted Beach here. Then flash in Spectral Sailor on their end step. Waste not. Ooh, so it's discard. Gotcha. Well, if it's going to be discard, then I'm just happy going big and aggressive in the air. So what I'll do is Cavern of Souls out on Spirit, and then I'll get a aggressive Drogskull Captain out. We get to hit in for 4. Everything's got hexproof, and then I go for Hero Great Glass Spinner, and as long as they can't make me sack a creature, I am chillin'. So Liliana now becomes a bad play. Any targeted removal is a bit awkward. That's fine. We'll lose a 2/2, but we'll still kill her.
When I win, you're telling me what you know.
Alright, fine. So that was an edict that really just did not get them anywhere. Here is Kira Glass Spinner, or is it Drog Skull Captain? Oh, it's actually Drog Skull Captain because now everything has hexproof. Okay, sweet. Kill Lily. Kill Spectral Sailor, or should I get in for almost lethal? I think I just want to hit them to 9. Liliana just makes me discard Rattle Change or something. And yeah, we have lethal on board now. They have to specifically edict us, which they can't do with Liliana on 1. Has to be Shieldred's Edict from hand or a secondary Liliana. It's a Shieldred. They cannot make me draw it all, so I should have lethal here.
Drop it.
We'll drop off Rattle Chains. That can go. And they get to make a creature, but all of our stuff is in the air. We'll lose 2 life, but they will lose their final 9. Okay. Well, that was nice. Normally it is the discard deck that gets up under you, but we got up underneath the discard deck today. Pretty sweet. Alright, great round 4. Definitely the fastest one of the video so far. Let's hop into round 5 and finish out with one more strong one. It's the final round here, round 5 coming up. Mausoleum Wanderer is going to be our 1-drop, and then it'll be a slow little play to get to our turn 3, but we'll be able to do it under a Cavern of Souls. Alright, all we got to do is draw land. What could be so hard about that? Forsaken Crossroads, okay, they get to have that as an untapped land, and what do they play? Strike It Rich, okay. A lot of decks play that card, so I have no idea what my opponent's on. Feels combo-y though, for sure. Okay, nice. Well, we were able to make that work. Let's just drop this land out, and then now it's going to be turn 3 Cavern. And we'll probably just cast Soul Herder here. I wonder if my opponent can wipe the board. Here's Cavern of Souls. Do it on Spirit. We'll go for the Soul Herder, which will be kind of like a little aggressive play here. Get to go in, then get to flicker Mausoleum Wanderer. Take action, grow the Soul Herder, say go. Opponent's representing 5 mana right now. If this is a Mizzix's Mastery type play, well, it couldn't be Mizzix's Mastery. It could be Transmogrify. We'll have to see. Smothering Tithe, whoa. Okay. So we're not going to pay for this first Smothering Tithe. We'll be able to next turn, possibly. I think we just want this on Spirit the entire time. I don't think they have counterspells regardless, but you know what? It's not like we're double spelling for a while. I'm going to choose Human just to cover all of our basics. Then we'll go for Drog Skull Captain. Next turn, Roaming Throne. Alright, Pseudo-Vigilance for that. Here we go. Opponent's at 11. We hit them for 8 this turn. If we draw another Drog Skull Captain, that's lethal. Anointed Procession. Is it going to matter? We will see. Well, let me auto-pay this one, actually. It's a 2-turn clock no matter what I do. I'd rather just deny them the mana. Let's flip out our Mausoleum Wanderer. Alright, even with targeted removal, this next attack would be lethal. Has to be a board wipe, has to be a creature that can gain them life, or anything that gains them life in general. Seeing the 3rd white pip come down is scary. It sees the spoils, they're looking for an answer. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Alright, and we'll end out round 5 with that victory here over a interesting token-based treasure combo deck. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, check out the deck list in the description. I always have the excuse me, I always have the tapped out deck list in the description, so check that out. If you want to support the channel, like and comment on the video, and subscribe if you are new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed. Spirits, what a fun one. It's so cool having Cavern of Souls in this format now. It's going to make your elf and goblin starts just that much more crazy. I'm going to be playing these here again in the future to kind of see what the latest updates are and to see how Cavern of Souls changes the gameplay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.